Oh, I see Dwayne here. Hi, Dwayne.
Sorry, I'm late. I joined the other meeting. So, because it shows up on my Google, I just clicked yes, which is attention to detail is missing this morning, but I'm here now.
Thank you for being here. I think we're good to go. We're set. Now we're good to go. And you can see we have 14 participants. I think we are good to go. So thank you so much. Thank you all for being here. A very good morning from wherever you're joining us from. I'm joining you from Nairobi, and Nairobi is a little bit chilly. I hope everyone joining from here is keeping warm. So I am Rispa, and I will be your moderator for the webinar. And I look forward to having an insightful session, to learning, to working out of here when I'm an AI guru. Hoping everyone is also looking forward to that. And AI is the new kid in the block. AI jobs, AI opportunities, AI skills, AI literacy, AI this, AI here. And that is why we're here, to make sure that we are unpacking all there is to know about AI literacy, AI skills, recruitment, and the ever-changing modern workplace. And I hope you also get to learn a lot by the end of our session. Also, before we begin, just a few housekeeping notes. This session is being recorded, and also there will be a Q&A session. So if you have any question, make sure to have it in the chat box, and it will be answered. And then anything else that I've left out? No, I don't think there is. And now I can introduce our speakers. We have Pauline. Pauline is our editor at Green Jobs. Maybe you've met her, even if not physically, you've interacted with her on our newsletter. And then we have Martin Ndovu, who is an innovator, a tech enthusiast, a head of product at Gebeam G2Me. I hope I'm getting that name right, which is an all-in-one digital platform which is designed for African freelancers, small businesses, entrepreneurs, and we will get to hear from him. And then we have Dwayne Assemble. He is project manager at Shortlist, and now our resident HR, who will be answering all your questions regarding recruitment. And a very big thank you to every participant who has made time to be here and to join us. And so now over to you, Pauline.
Interesting. Just to make it clear, I'm not one of the speakers. Since I'm the editor of Green Jobs Rising, I have um, to introduce myself first, and then I can allow the speakers of today's session to go ahead. So my name is Pauline, as you can see on your screen right there, and I'm the editor of Green Jobs Rising, a publication for young professionals in Africa. We showcase jobs opportunities, career insights, and even how to make yourself job ready in the green economy. I'm excited today. I'm actually looking forward to hearing more about AI from Martin, because as Rispa said, AI is everything now. So if you can't beat it, just learn it. You also have AI movies, which are very annoying. I actually find them very annoying. I've also seen AI songs on YouTube, which I am still struggling to accept that AI can now, we now have AI songs out there with some very interesting beats that honestly I don't like it. But if you can't beat it, just learn it. So yeah, I'm looking forward to this session too. Welcome so much, Dwayne and Martin, and thank you so much, Rispa. That's all. Over to you, Rispa.
Okay. Thank you, Pauline. You said about AI songs and AI movies, but do you know AI is also a therapist? People are using AI for emotional support.
Oh yeah, I have used AI to find, my son is like this and this. How can I, or what can I do as a parent? Because, he was acting out and all that. So I know.
You see, I don't know if that is AI literacy. this is Martin who will be letting us know, is me using AI as an emotional support adds up as part of AI literacy. But anyway, to start off, Martin, now that we've said AI is everywhere, and it's for sure everywhere, movies, songs, even it seems like AI could be your roommate or your friend or someone you're just doing life with. So I just want you to start off maybe by expounding what is AI literacy, because most of us don't really know what AI literacy is. And now you can head over to your presentation. Over to you, Martin. How would you?
Thank you, Rispa. Thank you, Pauline, for the wonderful introduction. Let me start by introducing myself so that we get to know who this guy is. Thank you for the introduction, but just to get more context, I have been in the technology space since I was in university. My first job was at Microsoft. I was a solution specialist for 7 years at Microsoft. After I left Microsoft, I joined Gabeya, and Gabeya is an Ethiopian tech startup that was at the time working on tech talent placement across the globe, but made a strong pivot towards AI. So today I'm an AI engineer, and I'm the one that builds the tools that make the AI music and videos and all that stuff. So we built Dala Studio, actually, which is Africa's very first platform that allows creatives to make or leverage AI tools to be creative and to help them become more efficient. So yeah, songs like Yo Papa Ute that became very popular, yeah, those are all AI generated. I think there's many more songs that you don't know that you love that are actually AI generated. And I always think of it as the next level of tools that has come to Africa. In fact, I'm not sure if you're familiar with, there was a tool called Fruity Loops, which was released in around about 2003, which made its way to Africa in the form of a very cracked version that no one paid for, but was installed in many computers in many bedrooms and garages. That Fruity Loop software basically allowed any African creator to be able to make beats without having musical instruments, and basically democratized music production at scale. And thanks to that, we now have Afro beats and Amapiano. So very often when technology does come into society, what typically happens is that there's a lot of resistance because of what people appreciate for the way things have been done. But it is Don Jazzy and the early producers of Afro beats that leveraged Fruity Loops and became the big winners at the end of the day. And my presentation today is going to teach you how you become the big winner, how you become the early bird that catches the worm, how you become the best, most valued employee in your organization while everyone else is sleeping. All right, let me share screen. Can we see my screen?
Yeah, we can see it.
Oh, I should be able to share just. Okay, that's fine. I'll just share the whole thing. All right. So today's presentation was thankfully created by my AI agent. I have about 9 AI agents that support me at my business Butternut. And they range from marketing to HR to legal and many other job titles. Right. But today for you, who's getting started, I've been in this for more than 2 years now, but for you who's getting started, what does this mean for you? So one thing I'll tell you, I watch, literally, this is my job. I have to watch how people use AI almost every day. And I can't tell you how often I have to cringe because I can see that people are just not getting how AI must be used. And you can't blame people. It's really because we've had decades of training of using Google search where we had to type in keywords and those keywords would quickly give us the results that we needed. Whereas AI has flipped things around and nobody is really talking about how you're supposed to leverage AI. And so because of that, a lot of people think AI is just dumb, it doesn't get me, and they don't want to use it or adopt it. There are two things you're seeing on your screen right now, tools and skills. We have one of these and the other one is missing. And I'll tell you which one you know we have, tools. Most of you are already using ChatGPT. As Pauline said, she's going to probably ChatGPT or Claude and she's asking, okay, this is my scenario right now. How do I work it out? Yeah. You have the tools. And just like a guitar or a piano, there are people who are going to use that same tool to make basic little sounds. And then there's people who are going to be able to make entire Beethoven-type symphonies from the same instrument. AI is not different. There are people who are going to become expert level advanced users who will be able to get more out of AI than others who are still basically dropped. I hope that's not you. All right, let's talk about what AI literacy is, because we had digital literacy. Digital literacy was really about being able to use digital technologies like your laptops and smartphones and all the softwares in them. Now we're moving to AI literacy, and there's a lot of misconceptions. A lot of people think that when you're talking about AI literacy, it's about knowing how to code. Wrong. Get that out of your head. People think it's that you become a techie, you become like tech bro, you don't sleep. No, that is exactly not what AI literacy is. And you definitely don't need to know every AI tool that's out there. I don't even know all of them. I've given up. There's just way too many. I even make those AI tools, so where am I going to have time to keep up? What it actually is, what AI literacy is, and what you want to be able to do after you're done here is knowing how to think with AI, command it, direct it, harness it, and then get maximum results from the AI tools that you're using, whatever tool that is. So this is like the 4 skills that you need to remember. If you don't remember nothing else, remember this. You're going to need to prompt, evaluate, judge, design. And we're going to go through this, okay? Let's start with the very first skill, which is basically the prompt bit. So how do you ask better to get better? And I don't know if you can see the screen here, but imagine this was a sandwich, right? And you asked your AI to cut the sandwich in half. Would the AI be wrong to cut the sandwich this way? No, it wouldn't. This is half. In fact, if on this edge, it could also be half. But most of you are cringing because you're thinking like, I want it half like this is how but you did not explain that to your AI. I want to introduce you to something called context. Context is very important in painting a picture to an AI on what it is that you want it to do, but more importantly, what surrounds, what environment is this thing in? So you're going to start with what's called role. Role is like my biggest hack. You tell the AI who it is. For example, if you want the AI to be a data analyst to check through some Excel sheets that you have, you tell it, play the role of a data analyst. If you want it to perhaps to design some slides for you, like what it's done for me, I say, play the role of a senior designer, right? Role is important because it almost already gives it a set of skills and tools that it needs to bring and surface to the top to do whatever you wanted to do. The next thing is obviously the task. I find that it's very easy. It's very easy to give tasks because we typically give instructions either to our children or to our workers, our subordinates, whatever it is. We give instructions, but we often forget to outline exactly what we want out of by way of result, right? So again, role, you tell it the role, you give it the specific task that you wanted to do, specify the context around that task, and specify the output format that you wanted to give you a result in. Again, if, for example, you want it to create slides, it might give you a text format where it says slide 1, slide 2, slide 3, slide 4. And a lot of people get frustrated, but you didn't tell it, I want my slides in HTML format, or I want my slides to be in Google Slides or PowerPoint, or whatever the format is. Remember these 4 and you'll always get good results. So here's an example. You are a finance manager. Summarize this contract. This is now the task you wanted to do, to summarize the contract. Finance manager was the role. For a CEO who has 2 minutes, this is where you're killing it with context, because it could summarize the contract for a junior analyst. It could summarize the contract for a government official. It could summarize the contract. But once you've told it that this is a CEO, he has only 2 minutes, it will then understand that it needs to make sure this is as brief as possible, but also as impactful as possible. And it speaks in a language that's relevant to a CEO. And lastly, use bullet points and flag any risks, okay? So this is where you've explained to it, you don't want paragraphs, you want specifically bullet points, and you want it to make sure that at any point that there's any risk, it actually surfaces that to the top. All right, so that was skill 1, the prompt. Now we're going to move on to the next bit. Let's look at evaluation, okay? I like to say AI is a fast junior colleague. When I say junior colleague, I mean exactly that. The same way you would treat a junior colleague, the same way you'd ask a junior colleague, I want you to prepare this document. I want you to write this email. I want you to, as soon as that junior colleague is done, what's the first thing that you're going to do? You're going to check. And I get so frustrated because a lot of people, I don't know, like, do they want their brain cells to die? Have they given up on thinking? They will literally take the very first result that AI gives them, and they will go and pass it on to their customer or to their boss without checking it, without verifying it, without reading it. And then they get surprised when people are upset because they've missed something and they have to be told over and over what to change. Yet they could have just gone through it. And here's the part that no one talks about. This is the part that's super annoying with AI, is because this AI can write 2, 3, 4 pages of text in seconds like this. But unfortunately, our brains and our eyes can only operate at a certain speed. So we have now, thankfully, more to read because these AIs are producing more content. And so, unfortunately, while we've taken away the task of typing and thinking and writing and drafting, a lot of the load has gone more to the more critical thinking side, which means that we need to activate our brains. This is important. Always ask yourself, would I put my name on this? If someone comes back and says, who wrote this? Who authored this? You should be proud to say, yes, this was me. This is my brainchild. And so I always encourage people, check over and over again. Make sure that you never one-shot. We call it one-shot in the AI industry. Don't aim to one-shot any solution. One-shot means one prompt and one result. Always look to build things iteratively. If the AI gives you a result, criticize what it's done ask it to go back and go over like a couple of iterations until you really can't find anything that you could improve. All right, next bit is going to be the judgment bit. This is where you have to really start to decide what are you going to use the AI for and what role are you going to play. I'm finding a lot of people in the workplace have just decided that they're now going to become the middleman between their boss and the AI. Boss asks for this, I'm just going to go and type it in the AI, give me this, and then I hand it back to the boss. You are now irrelevant because as soon as the boss is now able to talk directly to the AI, guess who's going to be out of a job? You. So it's now time that you start to figure out where your value actually lies. And I'll tell you the very first part. If you're still coming up with ideas from scratch, from a white blank surface, you are wasting your time. Any idea has already been thought, it's already probably been tested, and there's nothing special that's coming out of your brain. Let's be honest, these days it's very hard to come up with something absolutely new. Good luck. If that's you, great, congratulations. If not, AI should be doing that. Let AI deal with creating the first draft, the first template, the first, unless it's something that you absolutely think that like it's so original that the AI won't be able to give you a draft. Most of that is going to be able to be done by the AI. What won't be able to be done by the AI is handling relationships. I know we use AIs for emotional support, but unfortunately, they are still unable to go and make friends with CEOs and clients and colleagues. They will probably eventually get there one day, but right now, this is your role. It's your role to go out there and maintain relationships, understand what your clients are challenged with, what keeps them awake at night. Give them empathy, make them feel like they're heard and understood, and really use the AI to then deliver the solutions that will actually remedy any challenges they're facing. Research is not, no one actually, I don't know one person that enjoyed doing research. I don't know how like that became a whole university thing. We had to spend, I think, 6 months coming up with a thesis, looking for, what do you call those things that you put at the end of the research? I'm forgetting, where you quote certain books and people. That's not something you should be doing anymore. What did you call them, Pauline?
Is it the reference?
Yes, the references. Oh, I'm telling you, that's the one thing I hated the most. Thank goodness AI can now entirely scrape the whole internet and give you all the references you need to actually make sure that whatever it is that you're presenting is well supported. What you should be doing, on the other hand, is making judgment calls. These days, AI has gotten to a point where it will give you multiple options. I don't know if you've noticed, in the early days of AI, it would give you one answer. But people criticize that, saying that how can AI know the answer for everything in the world? Some things are subjective. So what most AI LLMs are now doing is they'll say, these are my 5 options that I'm giving you. These are the pros and cons of each option. This is where you come in now. It's your job to be able to sit down and say, no, this is the right option for me to choose. Why? Because I understand the situation. I've spoken to the people. I'm on the ground. I hold the relationships. So I'm the right person to make the judgment call on whatever the AI has done the research on and presented to me. Repetition is another thing that no one was born to do. You are not born to wake up every day, go to the office and do data entry day in, day out, over and over again. That's all stuff that should be automated, that AI should be doing for you. It should wake up, send you a morning brief of everything that it has already done in the last 24 hours and tell you what it's going to do in the next 24 hours, while you are captain steering the ship. And that accountability falls squarely on you. We are now all going to become HR of AI agents. You're going to start working with all these agents that perform all these different tasks, and your one goal and mission is to make sure that you're steering them in the right direction. And should those AI agents do something wrong, guess who's taking accountability? You, right? So again, you're not going to make these AIs go loose. You're going to check on them. You're going to make sure that their processes are working well. And that will just make you so much more valuable to an organization. We went through this. This is the iteration process I was talking about. So you want to make sure that you ask AI once. Remember the prompt technique that we spoke about earlier. That's what you want to do with the context, and make sure you specify your output. Once you start to build a repeatable process, and this becomes very easy, you're going to realize that there's a lot of things that you just keep doing over and over again. Probably every Tuesday you wake up, you get to the office, you have to do a summary of all the client transactions that came in yesterday, which ones have been reconciled at the bank. You need to create a slide deck and send it to the executives. Guess what? You just need to figure this out once. Where is the slide deck that it needs to be created? Who does it need to send it to? You figure that out once, and then you make sure that the AI remembers how to do this over and over again, and it will be able to do what's called a scheduled task. These are now available in both Claude and in ChatGPT and any serious AI platform, including Butternet. All right, so here's your goal, here's your task, here's what I'm asking you to do. There's no way I can come here and tell you exactly what you should do with AI, because we all do such different things. We all have different goals. We all get to the office and we have different workflows that we get into. My goal or my challenge to you is I want you to pick one task. Let me expand that. One annoying task, one thing that you absolutely, that if you get this thing out of your day is just going to be so much better. You're going to smile. Pick one thing, whether it's going through your emails and summarizing and figuring out what loose ends you have, or whether that is you absolutely hate figuring out how to make slides for your presentations, or maybe you've been told to create entertainment for the office, like get together, and you absolutely hate doing that. I want you to pick one task and add it to your list for this week. And what you're going to do is you're going to use exactly the AI tool you're already using to ask it how you're going to solve that problem. This is going to be, it's one of the most underrated skills. I remember in 2012, I was doing a digital literacy training in Zimbabwe, and I came and I taught these ladies one skill. They were expecting me to come with a full curriculum. And you know what that one skill was? I taught them how to Google. I just taught them how to open Google and ask them how to do whatever they wanted to do. A lot of them went on to start their own businesses because they figured out, when you ask Google, how do I start a crochet business? You can actually get YouTube videos that will teach you exactly how to crochet and then how to sell your crochet work. The new skill, the new Googling skill, is actually working with AI to solve your challenges. So you're going to ask your AI, how am I going to make slides? You're probably going to get an answer like, you're going to want to use a software or a platform called Gamma. You're going to want to put in these things. You're going to work with it step by step by step to actually get this task done. And what you're doing in the process of doing this is you're building a muscle where you're going to now be free from a fear of not being able to do something before getting help from a human person, or before signing up for some stupid course that's going to charge you 50,000 shillings to learn something that AI can teach you, even in a way that you understand better. Once you develop this core skill, there is nothing you won't be able to do with AI. It seems so simple, but that liberation, that feeling you get when you solve something by working or co-working with an AI, that there's nothing that matches that. I want you to also get out of your head that feeling or that notion that AI is going to replace your job. Just forget that. Just get rid of that feeling, because AI is inevitable. The same way when we got into the early 2000s, personal computers came to Africa. Some people were like, no, those things are for the really smart people, whatever. They were left behind because everyone had to learn digital literacy. We're now in the same phase. AI is inevitable. Every company will use AI. Every employer will want people who can use AI. And so it's up to you to make sure that you are the AI-enabled human. You are the human in the loop. You're the one that knows how to get the most out of AI. You're the AI whisperer in your company, and I promise you're going to get the promotions. Now, here's one thing I'm going to warn you against before I end this presentation. Do not, and I repeat, do not take your company's data, whether it's the clients, Excel sheets, whatever, CRM, I don't care what it is. If it is your company's data, do not take that data and use a free AI tool. And this is because all those free ChatGPTs or whatever it is that you're using have a little fine print policy that does say any data that you put into it that is on the free version is subject to use for training that AI model. And so don't be surprised that when the next version of ChatGPT is released and the new model comes out, this thing is going to blurt out all your company's secrets and tell everyone who your customers are, what they do, and what your secret source is. This is a big challenge that a lot of employees are actually making, a big mistake they're making. And this is why, like, I tell all AI business owners, if you don't give your employees the tools, they will start using those free tools, and your company is the one that's going to suffer. So spare your employers, please. Can you leverage the AI tools they give you? If it's Copilot from Microsoft, use that. If they've signed you up for Claude, use that. If your employer is absolutely stubborn and doesn't want to get AI at all, make sure you're using the paid version, because you're going to get into a lot of challenges otherwise. But AI is not negotiable. You're going to use it anyway, whether it's for emotional support or getting 10xing your productivity at work. It's here to stay. Make use of it. And if you have any other questions, please feel free to reach out to me. My name is Martin Zobo. You can find me at martin@buttonup.com, and I'd be happy to answer any questions you may have. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Martin. That was interesting. I have a couple of questions, and I think the audience also have questions. So if you have a question, please just drop it in the chat box. But before we go on, let me ask my question. I think there are a couple, but I'll start with one. I've had a statement that AI is not so good with numbers, and now I'm starting to think it's not really that AI is not good with numbers, it's just context. Maybe how you contextualize what you want the AI to do with the numbers. And then something else. You mentioned don't give away your company's data. And then I remembered I have a friend who got a link to win, I think it was a phone or something. And then you're told just click the link, and then you're just going to key in some things, and then you will win the phone or something. Turns out you're giving away your data. So how is that? How would you know for sure? Like how would I differentiate? This is not me giving away my data. Yeah, so maybe you'd start with that before the audience drops theirs.
Yeah, so let's start with the first one. AI is not good with numbers. This is now a thing of the past. AIs now have the ability to operate at financial analyst level, so like CFA. I think CFA takes a child financials about when it's in an AI. Build AI solutions.
Martin, I think we're losing you. Is it my network? Can anyone else?
We are crunching.
No, it's not just you.
The most for Yeah. Okay. Have you?
Hey,
Sorry, I have to switch rooms.
I think we lost Martin. Or is it from my end? Just to confirm.
It wasn't from your end. I'm not sure whether he realized that we lost him. Martin, we lost you.
Yeah, it's just
All right, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yes, good. So I was saying that from a numbers perspective, this is no longer the case. We have AIs that have very large context windows that are able to do heavy financial analysis and mathematical computation. So I'm not worried about that at all. What was the second question?
Second question was giving away. You mentioned something to do with giving away your data. And I was
Yes.
saying you just receive a link. It's like, this is AI something, this is, just could be anything. But innocently, you just sign up. But unfortunately, you find out you're just giving away your data.
Yes, unfortunately, that one is called social engineering. That is a way in which they leverage either your greed or curiosity to try and get you to perform an action. And so I highly recommend that people start from a point of skepticism whenever they get such reward requests, or if a Nigerian prince offers you his money. I think it's good to start by thinking that this could potentially be a scam, and they could potentially clean my data and money out. There's not much you can do about that. So if you do actually, by the way, feel skeptical about something, it's very easy to just take a screenshot, put it into the AI and ask it, could this be a scam? And that's because these scammers typically use the same technique over and over again. And so some of them become very, very well known. And so it will tell you the likelihood that that is actually a scam. But again, highly recommend that you use the paid version of a lot of these AI tools. There's nothing that's called free. If you think it's free, that you're paying in some way or form. Okay, so do make sure to do that. All right. Any other questions?
No, but I think that's really insightful because I think most of the people that are using AI as a therapist, it's the free version. So that means AI has the whole script of your life. Yeah. And then I think there's a question in the chat box. We have Monica. Hi, Martin. Thank you for an insightful session. Do you have any recommendations on some AI agents that an executive assistant can leverage, especially for note taking and report writing? And then says, yeah, just that.
Yes, I do.
Yeah.
Get comfortable with Claude and connectors, right? So you're going to have quite, in fact, the way I would do this, take whatever you just said and put it in your AI. That's your task for the week. Remember, I gave you a challenge. That's your challenge. I'm not going to give you the answer. You go and learn how to use your AI to get you the answer to that. And I promise you'll never have to ask a person that again.
Okay, thank you. Thank you so much, Martin. I still have another question, but before that, let me first give a chance to Dwayne. So, Dwayne,
Sorry, hold on. I see Naomi has a question there. So if you have to use the free AI model, how can I use it wisely? Okay, so there's a technique called reducting that you can do. So instead of, like, let's just say your customer is Safaricom and they're operating in Kakamega, right? What you can do is when you're putting that information into the free tool, you can substitute the names of people, organization, places. You can even substitute the numbers to make them look different. That way, even if AI is using that data to train, it won't get the specific details, and thus it won't give you It won't take your data away, but it will still give you the answer that you're looking for because you know what you've substituted. So that is a trick, but again, if you can absolutely pay, please do.
Okay, I love that trick. So that means if, again, emotional support or therapist, don't use your name. Tell AI, my friend, Colleen, my son's
Mm.
friend.
Exactly.
Yes, now, Dwayne, over to you. And to start off, I have a question for Dwayne. At times it feels like it's really a crime to admit that you used AI during a job application. You know, there are times you will find a slot asking you, did you use AI for this application? And then you will find another application that tells you from the get-go, please do not use AI for this. And so I'm wondering, Dwayne, is there a time or has the time come now that where we can honestly and openly agree that I actually used AI for this application? And also, can I include the AI skills I have in my CV? Dwayne, over to you.
One, and I guess my answer points back to your question. When you say is there a time we can be honest? Yes, I think we are beyond we are beyond that stage where we want people to, I don't know, write it down with a pen and paper. Why I say it points back to your question is if the job application specifically says do not use AI, then don't use it. If it doesn't specify, then that's fine. You can use it. The thing is, make sure that it has, as I think Martin has shared this, proofread what AI has put out. If it's your CV, because AI can exaggerate, right? Make sure it is, I like to say, make sure it's telling your story and not inventing your story. So proofread, make sure it's captured your experience as you have it, the right skills, it's mentioned them. Can you put AI skills in your CV? Yes, but what are we putting exactly? I think Martin will help you here. Because what is a skill to you? Is it prompting or are you an expert at Claude? So it depends. And if it's relevant to the job, then yes, put it there. But just make sure you proofread the job description. I know one or two companies that actually say do not use AI. Everybody else seems fine with it. However, make sure you proofread, make sure it's authentic, make sure it actually speaks to your experience and it's not exaggerating anything in your CV or in your background.
Okay, thank you, Dwayne. I think I just saw Martin dropped off, but that was such an insightful session with him. I have another question, and this one goes to Pauline because Pauline is the one who does our Green Jobs newsletter. How have been the opportunities that you list, Pauline, when it comes to AI? Are there more opportunities that are related to AI, maybe AI fellowships, AI scholarships? How has it been?
Yeah, there are a lot of, I've seen a lot of opportunities for AI, but I don't think I have seen many of them within the green sector. Many of them are outside. Maybe Dwayne can help us in this. I'm not sure whether I can classify because sometimes you find AI for.
Pauline, your voice is a bit low.
Okay.
Yeah, we
Sorry.
can hear you, but just a little bit low.
There, is it any better?
Try it.
Is it any better now?
Still quite from afar.
Okay.
But I think you can just go ahead because we still can hear you.
Or you can go ahead and continue while I sort it out.
Yeah, okay. Thank you. Okay, I think I had another question for Dwayne. And this was about, let me just check a little bit. Just a minute. I had a question somewhere here about Dwayne. Oh yeah, doing, because you have been in this recruitment space. Is AI now, would say, a necessity? Just how some time back you like computer packages or something, like computer literacy was a necessity. Are we headed there, or are we already there that AI skills, literacy or knowledge is now a necessity?
Yes, we're not even actually headed there. You're right. We are there. So digital literacy before, like you said, it meant, are you good at Word, Excel, and general computer packages? But now it's, can you use AI to work faster or better? So we're there. Can it improve your productivity, but not replace your thinking and your skill? So we are there. I think everyone should learn how to use AI. I think I keep saying this, prompting is a skill. Prompting is a skill because otherwise, there's an old saying, garbage in, garbage out, when it comes to information you're putting in. So it is a thing. It might not be actively advertised in all the job description that you must know how to use AI, but even for your own good, it helps you with the repetitive tasks. It helps with research. It helps you with a bunch of things at work that will make your life easier. I think, as Martin had shared, for some people they use it to, summarize their emails or summarize or a calendar, book interviews, sorry, book meetings. So look at it as an assistant. But also it's good if you do get a job, it's good to find out what your company thinks of AI use. There are still people who are very against anything to relate to AI, but they're very few. But yeah, it's a thing that we should all be aware of and learning to use.
Okay, thank you for that. So if you're there and you're in the audience, and maybe you still think AI literacy or AI knowledge is optional, I don't think it's optional, especially in today's modern workplace. You really don't have an option. But like Martin told us, for the longest, we have this notion that AI is coming to take your job, but we've had it's not coming to take your job. But like they say, AI won't take your job, but someone who is using AI definitely will. So be the person who will be using AI. Pauline, is all well?
I want to believe.
Yeah, sure.
Can you repeat your question again, Respa?
Yeah, I was asking, how is the frequency of AI opportunities, scholarships, as you list them on CringeJobs pricing letter?
Oh, okay. Yeah, I've come across many of those opportunities, but I cannot say there are as many as we want them to be. But they're there. They're there. The opportunities are here. AI literacy, like the one we just did today. We have maybe another AI, many of those opportunities, but again, they're not as many as we would want them to be. So like in a month, you'd come across one. Yeah. So I think we are not yet there as a continent. We are not yet there because many employers, I don't think they are yet open up to the idea of AI being part of them. We still want AI we want to differentiate between humans and AI, but yeah, so these opportunities are there, but not as much as we want them to be. Yes, Rispa.
Okay, thank you, Pauline. I think I saw a question in the chat box. Let me just look at. This is from Naomi. This is to Dwayne, I think. I have a question. As an applicant, how should you use AI in the application, like CV writing, and to what extent should you use it? Because I know there are those who pass the CV in the ATS system. Let me clarify, the HRs who pass the CV to the ATS system.
So how to use, I think good uses of AI include, tailoring your CV
Doing it to you.
Sorry, can you hear me?
We can
Yeah,
hear you,
we
Dwayne.
can hear you.
Okay. How to use it for an application? I'd say for improving grammar and structure and the formats. Step one, because some people look at format immediately. If it's not formatted properly, then you might be screened out just based on that. I think also to tailor make your CV to the job description, obviously not word for word. Another, I think a very important one actually that I find useful, and it helps with self-reflection. You put the job description, download it, rather upload it to ChatGPT or whatever AI you're using, upload your CV and ask, as if you're, ask it to play the role of a recruiter and ask it, do you think I can do this job? Or do you see any gaps between me and this job? But typically you can say, play the role of a recruiter and criticize my CV against this job or match my CV to this job. What do you think? Where do you think my gaps are? And then it starts to tell you where the gaps are. And even in that, it might tell you something that you've already done, but it's not in your CV. But yeah, I'd say step one, compare the two. It's basically like a humbling experience. Can I do this or not? And then use it to, tidy up your CV, the job description, use some keywords. The keywords should not replace what you've done yet once again, but it should help you. If people are using ATSs, it should help you pass through the ATS. So the keyword, sometimes it's something you have done already, but it's being described differently in this particular job description.
Okay, thank you, Dwayne. I can see another question here.
Before you move on, Rilke, do you mind if I just add something to what Dwayne has said?
Okay, sure.
One of our newsletters in the past, I think we've spoken about how to use CV in a job application really well. And what Dwayne has said, just upload your resume, put in the job description, and then let it roast it. After you've done, maybe just tailored your CV nicely to the JDs of the job, ask ChatGPT to roast it. That is how we actually just we say it in the newsletter. Roast your CV using ChatGPT, and it will tell you everything, what you've done right and what you've not done well. It will also highlight some of the keywords that you need in order for your CV to successfully go through the ATS, so that you can make sure you add it in there. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Pauline. I saw another question. Someone asked, what are the common mistakes when you're using AI? And even before I hand it over to Dwayne, the common mistakes while using AI in job application, I'd say the first, forgetting to edit the first part where the AI tells you, yeah, sure, this is the CV or this is, oh, please forget everything, but don't forget that, because you actually might be the most qualified, the most ideal candidate. But I think, I don't know, I'm not a recruiter, Dwayne will answer this, but I think that would automatically disqualify you. So yeah, Dwayne, what are these common mistakes that you see?
I mean, that's correct. I'll probably automatically move past your CV because I'm already seeing, and my problem will not be that you use AI. My problem is that you didn't proofread. It shows attention to detail is already a struggle, right? So that's the reason I would screen you out, not because you used it, but because you didn't use it properly. I think some of the common things you see, exaggerating your skills or experience. AI will hype you up, and that's why I'm worried about people who use it for emotional support or therapy. AI it can be an echo chamber. It tells you you're perfect and you're wonderful. So if you don't proofread what it's written, it's likely going to exaggerate your skills or experience. Listing tools you've never used, and then copy pasting, obviously, word for word, what the cover letter, or rather what the job description says. And I think generic, editing, rather lack of editing, right? So we know you've used AI, but you've not gone to edit it, change it to a language that you can speak to, because what happens as well is if it's, let's say it turns out a perfect CV, as a recruiter, when I start interviewing you, I'm expecting you to sound like your CV. So now when you get in and it's completely different, I start to wonder what it is. And that's why we keep saying, whatever you use it for, make sure you edit it, make sure it sounds like you, make sure it's experience that you can speak to.
Amazing. Then I can see another question. What level of percentage does a CV need to get passed off by ATS services?
Good. I don't think there's a percentage. I would say a percentage. I would say it's the keywords in, well, I'll talk about the ATS I use. So our ATS accepts, everyone will come through unless I put a scoring or a mechanism saying, please flag people like this and that, but we use that in advanced search. What it does, what's important to remember is the words in the JD are probably what a recruiter will look for to help shorten the list. And so when I say check the JD, not copy paste, it's just simple. Let's say it says, for example, it says the JD is a partnerships associate, right? You probably do not have this in your job description. I mean, in your current CV, but you've done something similar. So partnership associate would likely need to have done some customer relations, worked with customers end to end, or an account manager. It probably doesn't say that on your CV. You would need to now read that, see why it's similar. Like Pauline has said, upload both of them and both the job description and your CV and say, where roast me or are there similar things that I've done? And then use those keywords. Again, not replace, but keywords. But there's no percentage. It's just make sure the keywords in the job description appear in your CV. And that's also an annoying task, but we say tailor make your CV for every job, for almost every job. I know it's annoying, but that's what helps you get through the ATS.
Okay, thank you. I don't see any other question. If you have any question, please drop it on the chat box because we're about to wind up. But before we do, Pauline, I would just kindly request you to share the link for Green Jobs Rising newsletter on the chat box. Green Jobs, maybe most of you have interacted with it, but if you haven't, please make sure to sign up so that you get to be seeing the opportunities, fellowships. Yeah, there it is. There is the link. It's completely free, and you get to see opportunities, webinars, scholarships, grants. So just make sure to sign up. Any other question before we wind up? Any other question? Don't see any. So I presume we're all satisfied. We are all walking out of here as AI gurus. We are all walking out of here knowing how to apply for job opportunities using AI. Yeah, that is that. And we're about to come to the end of our session. Thank you so much to everyone who made time to be here. We're glad, and I hope you learned a lot, because myself, I've really learned a lot about AI and also about recruitment today. Thank you to our speakers, Martin and Dwayne. Thank you so much for sharing your knowledge with us. We look forward to even having more insightful sessions with you. And to everyone else, thank you, thank you. I hope you're now motivated and you know how to go about AI applications and everything else. And don't forget, make sure to follow us on our socials. We're on LinkedIn, we are on TikTok, we're on Instagram, we're on YouTube and X. Across all those platforms, it's Green Jobs Rising. And then, of course, our newsletter. The link is on the chat box. Make sure to look at it. And you will get yourself a goldmine of opportunities, insights. Once in a while, we have HR and packing job ads. It's amazing. And then finally, just okay, a minute. No, it's not a question. I had seen as if we had another question in the chat box. Yeah, that is that. Thank you so much. And that brings us to the end of our session, unless Pauline or Dwayne has something before we wind up.
Nothing for me, but thank you for having me. I've also learned a lot from Martin. I think I only use AI for one thing. I should really leverage for other things.
Thank you, Dwayne. Thank you as well. Thank you so much for being our resident HR.
Yeah, I've also learned a lot. I think our boss needs to see this video. Rispa, make sure he gets it, because I think during my interview, when I was interviewing for this role, and I mentioned that I knew I had some experience using some of these AI tools, and he was like, "No, we don't use all those AI tools," because as a journalist, you need to. When everyone is running to use AI, you need to be very unique. You need to speak to people. And so whatever goes on to our newsletters is very human. There's no AI in it. But then there's the aspect of always, pasting something on ChatGPT. And I think we do that a lot. That is why, Rispa, you need to have him look at this. And for everyone else, just a thank you for joining our webinar today. And if you're still job hunting, don't give up. Don't give up. We keep going strong. And when it comes to AI, I say, if you can't beat it, learn it. So right now, AI is not coming to take away your job. It is that AI-enabled human that will take your job. So you need to be AI literate. You know how to use this AI in applying for a job. That is my whole work with Green Jobs Rising, is to make sure that you are able to access these opportunities and you get a job. And when you do, please let us know, and we can always celebrate you. We are all happy when one of us is lifted across Africa. We are all about lifting every one of us in Africa. So when you get that job, let us know, and keep going until you get it. We are chasing the bag. Thank you.
Thank you, Pauline. Chasing the bag it is. Thank you, Pauline, and we don't give up here. I think my takeaway for the day is, when using AI for emotional support, I won't be saying me, I'll be saying my friend. So it is, my friend is going through this and that. That's my greatest takeaway. Anyway, thank you once again. Have a wonderful day, and we look forward to having you guys even in our next event. And wishing you all the best. Thank you, and bye.
Bye, everyone.
Bye, guys.
You're free to drop off now.